myself from seeking you. My place feeling alone, girl, come through. This a lifetime.
What up, everybody?
Yo.
What is good?
And we are back. Another edition of the Sports Port. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, joined by Matt, Tony, super producer Mike, and live via FaceTime, Gino Knows.
Gino.
Gino!
Where is this guy? Is he?
How's it going?
We got a full episode today, and we're also going to be joined by Grasso to talk some NBA, as well as
Who's in studio, folks?
He's in studio, and also as we go over the NFL and some other sports. So a lot to talk about today. But we're going to start with the NFL, and honestly, kind of on a somber note, as this week we learned the passing of Vincent Jackson, the former wide receiver for the Chargers and the Buccaneers, only 38 years old, found in a hotel room. I mean, really just a tragedy, and one of the great guys in the NFL. So it was tough to see someone this great, go so early, and just really sad. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought about the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's sad. I think we heard about this on our last episode at the very end. So
yeah, that was like just coming out.
It was just coming out. There was like nothing released about it yet.
Yeah,
really.
and of course, obviously it's
God
sad.
bless you.
We've seen these few of these NFL guys, after they retire. Junior Seau, he comes to mind right away. But CT Hernandez, obviously
Right.
Aaron Hernandez. He had a whole whatever, but. I mean, he was a stud, Vincent Jackson. 540 catches in his career, 9,080 receiving yards and 57 TDs. So, I mean, RIP, and wish the best for his family.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is super sad, especially like we were saying. I mean, the guy, he was a superstar, and to see him kind of obviously he was struggling and unable to get help, which is probably like the biggest thing here. And like we do see it quite often with a CTE, and thankfully, I believe like his family said they're going to donate his brain to
Boston University.
To kind of further the study for CTE and its effects and stuff like that. So, hopefully maybe something good can come out of it. Maybe.
Yeah, that's all you can kind of hope for at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I said it at the end of our last podcast that, he was Keenan Allen to the Chargers before Keenan Allen was Keenan Allen. And, you mentioned CTE now, and I guess that was our biggest fear coming into the situation was, God forbid it was CTE or something like that with the brain. And unfortunately it is. And you hate to see that. And unfortunately it's becoming more and more prevalent in these players. As time has gone by, and you read these articles and watch these documentaries, and these people, they even said about Vincent Jackson, nice guy, but had that different personality, and it's kind of like split personality disorder where they just are acting different, anger, and just not the same person. And it's a shame that these people have to go through this, especially after playing a sport they love for so long and something that they fell in love with. But obviously RIP to Vincent Jackson. He was a great one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing to take away from all of this is just no matter who it is in your life, always to check in with people periodically, because a lot of people probably didn't know that knew Vincent Jackson. That he was really struggling, and I guess he was missing for days, and then you just never know, and what that support might do for someone. So obviously very sad. And another thing that I thought was insane is that they said he possibly could have been dead for days there, and the hotel staff right in the room saw him slumped over and didn't do anything. I mean, that's unacceptable.
Jesus, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that just came out.
Fucked up.
Terrible.
That is pretty fucked up.
Obviously, very sad situation. I just hope with the
Would they think he
research,
was like sleeping?
Yeah, right. Like Jesus, dude.
Yeah. With the research on his brain, that'll help in the future. With another case of this. So obviously, very sad. RIP. And then on to
prayers to his family.
Absolutely. On to some other news. We had Carson Wentz finally get traded. Just a week ago, we were breaking down, what we thought they would do with him. He goes to the Colts. We all liked the fit when we talked about it originally. Now, what was your guys' thoughts on the compensation? They gave up a third rounder this year, a minimum of a second rounder next year, which could turn into a first rounder based on how much he plays, and I think if he makes the playoffs.
Right.
So what was your guys' thought as far as who won the trade, and was it fair?
I mean, it's just crazy to think that they got a once upon a time bona fide starting quarterback, and Wentz just 3 years ago had that MVP caliber season, gets hurt. Obviously, they win the Super Bowl with Foles, but just from there, it's just been downhill for Wentz, I feel like, bro.
Mhm.
And I mean, clearly, to be able to get him for not even to throw another player into that deal and just was it third round pick and second round pick
and possibly it's a first,
possibly a first based on some incentives.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, we'll see, man. I mean, that's not that much to give up for like a
not at all.
legit starting quarterback. But I do like the fit with the Colts because they obviously have a good football team. They made the playoffs this year with an old man, Phillip Rivers, old man River. But so I think that, for the Colts, they are they have more upside that came through this deal for sure.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think the Colts have definitely won the trade.
Yeah, man. I don't think it was that much to give up at all. And I give Wentz a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because, he was playing for a team that he hated to be
He didn't
playing
talk to
for,
Peterson
dude.
for like 10 weeks.
10
this
weeks,
season,
to the end of the season.
Yeah,
dude.
that's bad.
That's
Like, how do you
do that?
That's something you can't fix.
Yeah, dude, you don't fix
you got
it at
somebody,
all.
either
Yeah.
one of them, one of the two of them had to go.
And
I
they
could
decided to
only-
go with
Yeah,
Coleman.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And I can only
Yeah.
imagine how happy he is right now to be
Yeah.
with a different team.
Oh,
And even on top of the issues he had with Peterson, I was hearing reports that he wasn't even the favorite in the locker room anymore, dude.
Nah,
He wasn't even getting along with the players. He was probably just miserable as fuck playing for the Eagles.
Situation that you get to blow up. What were your thoughts on it, Gino?
Before I'd seen some things about the fact that he might have been, a lot of his situation might have been a problem based on getting subbed out or getting injured and then getting replaced by Foles in the Super Bowl. Foles going on to win the Super Bowl. I think he was in his head a lot throughout Philadelphia, and I think that the Jalen Hurts thing, if the Nick Foles thing affected him, I think the Jalen Hurts thing affected him even more. Just them drafting him. I think it's a great move. I think it's in terms of value, I don't think that the Eagles could have gotten any more. Because I think that he's been so bad lately that he didn't have much value going into this situation, and they knew that they wanted to trade him, so they had no leverage. But I think that I think the Colts are getting a great quarterback. I would, as a Titans fan, even say that the Colts are probably the favorites in the AFC South right now, especially with the situation with the Texans. We don't know how good Urban Meyer's Jacksonville Jaguars is going to be. It's going to be really interesting to see how good they are. But with that defense, anything is possible. And I think Carson Wentz is a good quarterback, and I think he's going to prove it this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said this last week. This is it for him, though. If he messes this up and it doesn't play well,
he'll be out of the league.
Yeah, it'll be a quick downfall. And just to show, how much his value is going down, the Eagles, because of this, have a $33.8 million dead cap hit. So that's how bad they wanted to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And I think, as well as, my next question for you guys is about Jalen Hurts. Do you think he's definitely the starter, or do you think they're really considering everything and they could pull another trade or draft somebody or sign a free agent? What do you guys think about the Eagles quarterback situation?
They drafted Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, my initial thought was okay, so they don't believe in Wentz.
Right.
And Wentz will probably be not in Philly somehow, one way or the other. But Hurts, he became the starter, I think, in the beginning of December, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Is when he took over the helm.
Mm-hmm.
He played pretty well. Inconsistent, though, I would say. So that's the biggest thing with him. In his first couple games, he had a 91 rating overall, 67, then 83. And then his last couple games, he went down to a 70 and then a 25. So he's got games in those games where he's thrown for almost 400 yards, 350 yards. But then he'll throw for 70 yards or close to 100 yards, something not enough to get you to win football games. So, I liked Hurts at Alabama. I think he's a really good athlete and a very good athletic quarterback. I don't know if it's just one of those situations where they just need to give him some time. But I don't see why they wouldn't give him a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. He's got he's proved himself at some point, consistent or not.
Why'd you draft him?
Exactly. You guys drafted him. You wanted him. He's got the arm. He's got the legs. He moves well. I think maybe if you build a few other pieces around him, he can do really well.
Yeah, and it's just funny too how rushed the NFL is. What did he start? 3 or 4 games, and then some people are saying, "Oh, is this it for him?" It's crazy. He showed a lot with his legs. I think the key this year is going to be reading defenses, making tight throws. Can he do that? And I think that's why they brought Sirianni in. What's your thoughts, Gino?
I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a quarterback. I know some reports have come out that they haven't officially like made the decision that they wouldn't do that. But obviously it's also a wide receiver heavy draft, so they can wait on a wide receiver. They don't have to get one in the first round, I don't think. But I think they have too many other holes to go and use a top pick on a quarterback. I just think that they have so many. The defense is just abysmal. They need to fix that in some sense or another. So I think that they probably are going to go defense with the first overall or with their 6th overall pick anyway in the first round. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted a quarterback, but I think Jalen Hurts deserves a chance.
Yeah. And I think their best chance, reconstruct that roster, which was one of the best, obviously, when they won the Super Bowl, and now, it's taken some hits, so that'll be an interesting situation to monitor. We've had a lot of chatter, about other quarterbacks in the NFL. There's predictions of maybe another 10 jobs, transitioning to different starters, guys getting traded. I've heard, like we talked about before, Garoppolo maybe to the Patriots. They're talking about maybe Deshaun Watson now to the Panthers, which would obviously be, a dynamic combo with Christian McCaffrey, some of the other skill guys they have. And then what really surprised me is that supposedly Derek Carr, who I thought, they haven't done anything in the playoffs, haven't had great years. I was thinking, the way John Gruden is, we all know him from, Monday Night Football. I doubt he has much patience. And I know his season was, okay, but it's just a matter of wins and losses, and he hasn't produced that yet. So I was surprised to hear that he is absolutely not on the trade block. And actually, they're looking to trade Mariota. What do you guys think? Do you think Carr is the right guy in Oakland? In Las Vegas?
Really not sure anymore, to be honest.
I don't think he's that like that bad though. You could argue that majority of the reason the Raiders were 7-9 this season is because of John Gruden. He made some awful decisions. Right. They could have been a playoff team.
I would love to hear
from
some Raiders fans out there if they're listening.
Yeah.
Because
I want to know from an actual Raider fan, what do you want to do with your quarterback?
I've thought they should have made the playoffs at least once out of the last 3 years. I thought they've had some talent on the roster. So Gruden, I think, not being around the game, actually on the sidelines for all those years, he's kind of maybe set in his old ways. And I think that might be setting him back.
They gave him that 10-year deal too, like that.
This was year 3.
This just in, guys. Samantha Ganello agrees with Gino.
Oh, wow. Sick. Didn't see that one coming.
Some stats on Carr though. This season, he was he threw for 4,100 yards, 27 TDs, 9 interceptions, had a 67% completion percentage. Those aren't bad numbers.
Oh, those are pretty solid.
Those are pretty solid numbers.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely solid. I just think because as long as it's been for the Raiders, they want someone to take them to the Super Bowl. They're tired of mediocrity. So Carr, maybe he'll be Andy Dalton at best. That's kind of what I think. So I guess they want to keep him. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. And then one more football comment.
Fabiani. Derek Carr looks like he wears eyeliner all the time. Of course, he belongs to the Raiders.
One more NFL
fire,
topic
Fabiani.
I wanted to go over was with my New York Jets, what they're going to do with the number 2 pick, and then as well as, should they keep Sam Darnold? I saw reports that if they were to trade him, they could get a 2nd-round pick. Obviously, they could trade down with that number 2 pick. I've heard stuff that they're interested in Zach Wilson. A lot of different ways to
I have something.
What do we got?
Mike's got a hot take. He told me.
He knows this. Yeah, I have a hot take.
I love it, dude.
Thank you. So Gino's going to like this too, I think. So my hot take is, I want Sam's going to succeed somewhere else. I have faith in Sam Darnold. First of all, sorry, bud, that you had to get drafted to the Jets at first, right? All right, we're sorry. But he will. I want to trade him, keep the 2nd pick, get my man, my Tony Stash brother down in Green Bay for the last couple years of his career. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers, and draft Zach Wilson.
Oh, that would be amazing. Rodgers.
How are they doing that?
But yeah,
I don't know.
Without trading that 2 pick,
that's what I asked him too. I was like, what are they?
A kid can't dream, Gino.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Kid could dream. I dream one day the Titans will win the Super Bowl.
Well, dude, I mean, when it comes to the Jets, obviously Jets fan, but I need Watson, dude. I just need, like, I'm fixated on getting Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I haven't even really paid attention to the other, like, what they can do with the pick, or like they keep throwing this and that. Like, I'm solely just thinking about, please just trade for fucking Deshaun Watson, dude. But if they don't, me personally, I am of the mindset that they should just stick with Darnold, because I think he's talented, and I think that with new coaching and just new locker room, that's kind of what he would need. Zach Wilson, I'm not really sold on 100%. And again, the thing that scares me is with drafting another quarterback. What if we botch it, dude? Like, I'm not saying Darnold's like, an all-star or anything, but like.
And the thing is, we've missed on a lot of picks recently.
Think he's got potential,
you have the number 2 pick. If it's not a sure thing, you don't want to blow it. I mean, the Jets have obviously had a history of that. So I'm kind of in the same mindset. What were you thinking, Tony?
No, yeah, I was thinking the same. I mean, I think they should go for Watson, dude. And I think maybe, I don't know. I mean, look, Darnold is good, but I feel like, for the past few years, like, all the Jets fans are like, oh, dude, like, Darnold, this is it. Like, Darnold is it. Like, we're going to have this quarterback we want. And, like, it just kind of doesn't happen. So maybe getting rid of him isn't a terrible thing. I mean, a lot of teams who've drafted a first-round quarterback end up trading them away anyway. Right. I think I saw a stat. There was, like, 21 quarterbacks drafted in the first round between like 09 and 16, and none of them played for the teams they played for. They got drafted with.
Recently,
none of them.
Wentz and Goff.
Yeah, Wentz and Goff. Exactly, dude. And even like in 2017, Trubisky's a free agent now. Watson wants to get traded. And who else? Mahomes is in the class, right?
So the hit rate just is not high on those top 10 quarterbacks because teams are so desperate. These guys move up the board, and really they weren't supposed to be drafted that high.
Right. And even so, you mentioned how like quick the NFL is, like when we talk about Hurts, like people see them not doing well and they're like, well, we gotta get the fuck out of this. Like this is really bad.
Gino's dying.
Gino, what do you got?
I think a big problem.
Studio next time, bro.
I think that the biggest problem is that just these guys are going to teams that need, like you said, so much work. They're not getting in the best situation possible, and I feel like a lot of times teams give up on players or quarterbacks, especially after like 2-3 years, and I think for Darnold, I agree with you guys. I don't think Darnold is a bad quarterback. I think that he has talent. And I say the only way the Jets should get rid of him is for Watson, or if Garoppolo somehow comes available and they want Darnold in return. I think those are the only 2 quarterbacks, because I think that Garoppolo will be enough of a game manager. I think that defense will get better under Saleh, and I think that they will be better overall. I think the Jets will improve this year because they have some pieces there. But if you're not getting Watson in return, I feel like for the most part, you should not trade him.
Right. And then it just
I 100% agree.
Just like the Eagles, who gave Wentz away, they traded all these picks to acquire him. It's the same thing with Darnold. They moved up to get him. You're only 3 years in, you're just gonna give up already. That's just showing no type.
Yeah, and there's an argument to be made that Darnold has not been on a good football team in his entire Jets career. Like none of those teams should have won more games than they won. I don't think. Maybe the second year that they were. When they got Le'Veon Bell the first year and had the whole problem with the linebacker who came from Minnesota and then went back or whatever. When they had
was that Quentin Dunbar?
Anthony Barr? No, Anthony Barr.
Yeah.
Is that right? Anthony Barr?
Yeah, it was Anthony Barr.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure the Barr is also the Attorney General, or was also the Attorney General. Yeah, so I didn't know if I got them mixed up.
And then just to add to that, one more thing, with the Jets, I think, like you said, they haven't really given him the right pieces. When was the last time that they really addressed the wide receiver position long term? It's always Band-Aids. It's always mid-round picks. They never really go after it. And I think Mims was a start, but I think they're going to add 3 receivers at least this year.
I would like to see them get Allen Robinson, top free agents for the Jets receivers. Allen Robinson, Juju, I know we're talking about Will Fuller. I don't know if that was maybe just like to attract Watson more,
right?
A little bit, But
I think
there's third free agent wide receivers out this year.
Yeah, and I think the best case scenario is
I'd love to get Allen Robinson, to be honest.
Yeah, I think best case scenario is they trade back too, because like I said, this is a wide receiver heavy draft. They can pick up a wide receiver or two in this draft that could make an impact right away. So I think that's probably a spot that they look at.
Yeah,
the Jets need a playmaker wide receiver, dude. They need like a big name, like wide receiver.
So I mean, and even if they can't trade that pick, I would take Smith it too. I wouldn't really be hesitant about that because he could really make that big of a difference and possibly save Darnold's career. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. We got the draft coming up in April, so I'm sure we'll do a lot of previews, mock drafts on that.
Oh, yeah.
And then one other NFL topic I just wanted to touch on. Very interesting coming out of Pittsburgh. Obviously they had the 11-0 start last year, crashed down the stretch, losing the first round of the playoffs. The GM was actually non-committal on Ben Roethlisberger. And, I think he had a pretty good year last year. I mean, all things considered, obviously he's getting older. We saw what they were without him the year before. And I think the biggest thing is that $41 million cap number for a guy
who's his manager. I need to know who his agent is. He's a good guy.
For a guy who's 38 years old. So I mean, the thing I honestly see here is them restructuring. They're $30 million over the cap. They have guys that are free agents. There's a lot of decisions that are to be made. But I think you have to keep Big Ben. Just restructure. They brought in Haskins. Obviously that's a wild card, but give him a shot to learn under Big Ben. You never know what'll happen. What do you guys think about the Steelers quarterback situation?
I mean, I think it's just time for Roethlisberger to hang it up, dude. Honestly, I don't, just like now. So I mean, I know, like you said, they have the cap hit, they have the whole salary cap issue, and then they're gonna need to restructure that deal. But I don't know. I mean, maybe if I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm like the Roonies, I'm like, I think this might be time to part ways.
Tony, before you go, Tony, JPO said Bull at QB.
He'd probably be better than Haskins.
Dude. But I mean, they have Haskins. I think Haskins has potential. Obviously, he's a bonehead, but
I mean, couldn't have a worse start to his career. Besides maybe Ryan Leaf.
You do make a good point though. If they want to keep Roethlisberger for a year, they'll maybe tutor Haskins. But I mean, you're not going anywhere with Roethlisberger anymore. Clearly, they went 11-0, and then they just died.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think, Tony?
I don't know. I think it's tough, dude. I think Haskins really is a toss-up for me, dude. He's gonna need some serious tutelage, from Roethlisberger if he's sticking around. Or you. I mean, or me. I mean, I can help him out if he wants to, dude. In fact, I might go to the strip club with him. Actually, it might be worse for him if I help him out. I mean, he was with the Redskins for 2 years. He had 16 appearances, threw 14 interceptions. I mean, it's tough, dude. His maturity level was an issue with the Redskins. It's been an issue with the Steelers as well. I say keep Roethlisberger as much as you can. Honestly, I know he's going to be a lot of money, but I mean, it was a huge part of the offense. What else do they have?
The Eli situation. Just take a walk.
I think he's probably better than Eli.
Yeah, I think so too, dude.
In terms of get out the door.
But I think he just has a transition for 1 year.
Right.
Yeah. Get the cap situation straightened out. What do you think, Gino?
I think just to talk about the 11-0 start also. I mean, I think the one thing we have to remember about last year for the Steelers specifically is that they're one of the teams, along with the Titans, who had that weird bye week where they got their bye week moved to week 4, and then they didn't get a rest for the rest of the season. And I think for a player up there like Big Ben, who's, almost 40 years old, that's a big problem because he had to play 14 straight games or something like that, or 13 straight games. So I think that's a big problem there. I think Ben is nearing the end of his career. So, I mean, I'm kind of with Matt. I would get rid of him, but they don't really have many other options. So it's a hard situation to deal with. So, I mean, I don't think he has any more than 1 year left. He's got 1 year and that's it for me. If I'm the Steelers, I'm getting rid of him after 1 year.
And honestly, I would be more in favor of getting rid of him if it wasn't for the cap situation. So I think restructuring is probably going to save more money than if you released him. So I think you have to do that and then completely, reevaluate that position next year. See if Haskins has anything. If not, you'll have more cap flexibility with the cap going up, and then Big Ben not being on the team.
What's up,
Fabiano? Big Ben to the Jets.
Oh,
thanks, dude.
No,
thanks, Fabiano.
We're all set there.
Yeah, we're good, dude. Take a pass on that one.
Sam just needs some leadership.
A lot of stuff going on in the NFL. We're going to be on top of it all off season. But now we will transition into the NHL. Tony, what do you have on that?
Dude, we got like a pretty fucking cool weekend in hockey coming up. They're doing a series of outdoor games at Lake Tahoe.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, dude, fucking awesome.
dope.
If you guys don't know where Lake Tahoe is, it's like on the border of California and Nevada.
Yeah.
Which you might be thinking to yourself, like
Geography.
Geography, yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I took geography a couple times.
Same.
Which is honestly kind of funny. Is like you don't think of Nevada and California as like a cool place to be playing hockey outside. But we got 2 games coming up. One tomorrow, one on Sunday. We got Avalanche Knights tomorrow, which is going to be dope, dude. I mean, these matchups are actually like Avalanche are 3rd in the West, Knights are 2nd in the West. So these are good matchups here. I want to take the Knights honestly in this game. Just because I feel like, sorry, not the Knights. I don't know why I said the Knights. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with the Knights, dude. Dude, honestly, it's
I want
kinda
the Avalanche to win.
good because I'm gonna go with the Knights, dude. Between Carlson, your boy Patchy already has been on fire. Okay, they got Pietrangelo on D. Andre Fleury is like a fucking human highlight reel in the fucking net, dude. Like, I think they're gonna kill.
How old is Marc Andre Fleury?
Honestly,
I don't know,
He's
dude.
been around for a little bit,
I
right?
can't believe
He has
he's still
been.
around. Yeah, he's.
I would be. No, I think he's younger than that.
I
36.
I think he's
Okay,
surprisingly young.
36.
36.
I just remember him on the Penguins.
First
obviously.
overall
Yeah.
pick in 03 to the Penguins.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, man.
How about
the
them
Penguins,
Devils?
bro? Fuck the Penguins. Fuck the Devils.
Wait,
too,
how about the
dude.
Devils though?
How about
How
those Devils?
They're doing all right.
What do you
What are they
mean?
like in
They're
6th?
doing very well.
For
For
6. In the East, Mike.
Dude,
They're not.
how about those Canadians?
Anyway, I don't even
Not
worry
looking
about
so
it.
good for him, Mike.
Anyway, speaking of the East, the Sunday game is going to be Bruins Flyers, which I fucking love, obviously. The Bruins are 1st in the East. The Flyers are 2nd in the East.
Who we just beat?
You just beat who?
The Boston Bruins
Oh, that's cool, dude.
two games ago.
Really?
Yeah, no big deal.
Wow, dude. Sounds like ancient history to me. Anyway, this game's going to be interesting, actually, because I was reading an article of how fucking hot it's going to be at Lake Tahoe on Sunday. It's going to be 50 degrees,
Oh,
sunny
shit.
as hell.
We gotta
So
go.
it's going to be kind of funny to see what happens. I would imagine the ice is going to be like prime
Slush.
conditions. But I want to say, even though the Bruins are in 1st right now, I want to take the Flyers on this, dude. I think their defense has been like fucking fuego so
I'll
far
take the
this season.
Flyers.
Between Gostisbehere, former Rookie of the Year, Justin Braun, Pouliot, Friedman, and then Kevin Hayes, former Ranger, has been hot for the Flyers.
Dude, that is your word right now,
Hayes down
hot.
in, Miami.
Who?
Remember Kevin Hayes in Miami?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you told me about that. That's a fucking
The
crazy
whole,
story, dude.
Ranger story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Fire.
JPO wants to know: do you even hockey, bro?
Who?
I don't know. It's a good
What do you
question.
think?
I guess we'll know it.
Probably his stash.
Probably me.
Probably you.
I hocky, dude. Yeah.
I would like to know your opinions on how the Canadians are doing in comparison to the Rangers. Could we talk about that a little bit?
Hmm.
I mean, I guess when you think about it, in terms of the North Division, which is like super fucking easy, I'm pretty sure a Pee Wee team could beat half the teams in that division. They're in 2nd North Division, right behind the Maple Leafs, which is pretty good, I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. But I want a dramatic season, Gino.
Wait.
Okay? I want to be back, like behind the pack.
Can we just talk about how the Canadian division's played like 7 more games than everybody else? I feel like every other division's only played like 14 or 15 games. The Canadian division has like 3 teams who play 20. Like, how is that? I don't understand that.
I mean, I guess they haven't had COVID issues. I know like the Devils had a huge COVID issue, so it took out a lot of games
That's true.
for the East for a while. And then I think Dallas has had like their last 5 games postponed because of all the weather.
Yeah, and they didn't play in the beginning too because of COVID.
Yeah.
They didn't play the first 2 weeks. That's true. I guess it's true.
So I guess up in the north, there's really not as much COVID. I guess, dude.
Way up north.
I guess that was the whole point of
so-
not coming down to America.
Yeah, they played it right, dude.
But and I think it's great that in these games, obviously exciting, the outdoor setting, that they have good teams, because a lot of times with these standalone games, before the season, the matchup looks great, and then it's like, oh man, like this is going to be not good.
Yeah, but it turns out these are two contending teams who it matters. The game matters. Like, yeah, dude.
Looking forward to it.
So it's gonna be a good hockey weekend, guys.
Gino has a question.
Gino, what do you got for the NHL, man? Is this something that you could see being a consistent thing where a team goes to, say, where they have an outdoor event at Lake Tahoe as opposed to in a stadium for a home team or whatnot?
I mean, I would say absolutely, dude. I would imagine, especially for in an outdoor setting, like at a lake where it's not necessarily like a stadium that's like a closed, you can't really do much with it. Because I know going to I've known people who went to the Winter Classics and shit, and it's like they're in the fucking stands and the rink is all the way down there looking this big, dude. It's like, I mean, it's cool to be there, but it's not a great experience in terms of watching the game.
Do you think they would change Winter Classics to just being every 2 weeks they have a couple teams come to Lake Tahoe or something like that?
Dude.
Middle of the season.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be really cool. The rink looks amazing. It looks so beautiful there. I would.
Dude, that gets me excited if that is happening. I'll go there.
That'd be great.
Downtime trip to Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go, dude.
Let's go.
I don't think Gino can make it though.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
you never know.
But those games will be a lot of fun this weekend.
Yeah, man.
So looking forward to watching it. And now we're actually going to cover a little NBA, but we're going to do a break.
We'll be back in 30 seconds, guys.
30 seconds, guys.
All right.
I won't be here.
Oh, and we're back.
One second.
We got a little adjustment, guys. These dudes, you know what I mean?
I was about to ask what happened to Matt.
Oh, good to be back. Good to be back. What up, Grasso?
All right.
Welcome back.
Time to talk NBA. We got Grasso back. What's up, man?
Let's go.
What's going on, Barnes?
Last night in the NBA, Thursday's usually a light schedule. There were only 3 games last night.
Real quick. Sorry if I forgot to do this in the beginning, but it is actually my mom's birthday today. So
happy birthday, Mr.
Happy
Gino.
birthday.
take a second to say
happy birthday.
Mom. Love you. And thanks for giving me
for
life
the
so I can
support.
do the sports board.
Yes. So like I was saying, only 3 games last night. We're going to recap 2 of them. The first one, this was the early game on TNT. We had the Raptors playing at the Bucks. And once again, Raptors have been pretty hot. They come away with the victory, 110-96, giving the Bucks their 5th straight loss, which, I was pretty surprised about. Going into the game, I figured, the Bucks are due to win here. Raptors have been up and down this year, but, a big part of the victory for them was Siakam and Powell combined for 56 points. They're 2 of their better players. They were playing without Lowry. So, that all being said, Bucks being cold, I thought it was an impressive win for the Raptors. What were you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Grasso.
Yeah, it was definitely a big win for the Raptors. I mean, they had a terrible start to the season, but they're finally coming along. And yeah, you would have thought the Bucks would have won that game, but they're playing without Drew Holiday. I know that's a big deal, but you got Giannis. You think you could win some games. And I know the Raptors are playing good, but I mean, the Raptors really beat them pretty good.
Yeah, they killed them. And the Bucks are a team that should beat, or the Raptors are a team that the Bucks should beat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it says more about the Bucks and how concerned you should be about them and how predictable they are and how just putting a little wall in front of Giannis kind of just slows everything down.
Dude, honestly,
put the Bucks in the bathroom.
Dude,
JPO.
They shot 39. Put them in a fucking bedroom. They shot 39% from the floor last night. The Bucks as a team, 29% from three, and 69% from the line. There's no way. You're
all terrible numbers, and then you on top of that, I think they were down about 20 at halftime. In the first half, 0 fast break points. They're the top fast break point team in the league.
Yeah,
those are terrible statistics.
You know, I just had a quick thought. Like, do you think that they're still kind of like feeling it from losing to the Heat in the playoffs in the second round? Because last season it was supposed to be Milwaukee, LA.
I mean, they should be. I mean, that was kind of embarrassing. They got
that's
steamrolled by Miami, who they should have beat.
Exactly. So who knows? I mean, maybe some after effects. Giannis signs the huge extension right before the season started, and it just nothing really good has gone their way for the Bucks.
And then another thing, I mean, Drew Holiday was out, I guess, COVID reasons, but I mean,
and they missed out on the Boban trade, right? When they botched that.
So I mean,
Bucks as a whole, not.
I think the biggest question here is, what can be done to fix this?
Well, if I'm the Bucks, the thing last night, I watched the entire game and they didn't even move. Like Giannis had the ball and everyone just stood around. I think they need to just ditch Giannis having the ball, put him at the center, put him in the paint, play a high-low pick-and-roll game when Holiday comes back, or these guys like Bryn Forbes and DiVincenzo. Giannis shouldn't be handling the ball because he's just not a threat out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And actually on Inside the NBA, Shaq was actually talking about that, just saying that Giannis, there's no reason to have him, on the three-point line. And I think you see that with a lot of players. They feel this pressure, besides Ben Simmons, of course, to shoot three-pointers, to be good at three-pointers. Yeah. Giannis's game is not three-point shooting. I mean, he doesn't look comfortable shooting a three. I just think you want him down low. And you want him just posting up. I mean, Shaq said it last night. He's basically just as good of a post player as Joel Embiid. And while he's not as tall as Embiid, he's almost is. But it's just you think of him more as a perimeter player. But you definitely want him to, play to his strengths and have him dunk over people in the post.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
Yeah, I think Giannis is a center.
What do you think they could do here, Gino?
Well, yeah, I think Drew Holiday is a big loss for them, clearly, and probably is maybe the after this the most important addition any team made this offseason, because everything we're talking about, I feel like he did primarily while he was in, and I think over the 5-game stretch that they've lost, he hasn't played in any of them due to COVID. So obviously, just not Giannis bringing up the ball, like I think that's a huge thing that they have to figure out, because he just isn't that point forward that, a LeBron is or something like that. I think they just, I don't know. I didn't watch the game last night, so I don't really know. But I mean, Matt's kind of right with the stats that they had. This is not just a Giannis thing. I mean, people got to make shots. They got to shoot better from the field, whether it's Giannis or the supporting cast. So, shoot better from the free throw line. Obviously, losing the Raptors, not good. But I think once they get Drew back, it'll be better. But I think this is probably, honestly, I think this helps the Bucks that they're losing these games without Holiday, because I think it, maybe they had some underlying things that they didn't realize with the wins, and them winning, and then now they can work on them and fix them.
And you look at it last year, I think they had the best record in the league at this point. Right now, they have twice as many losses as they did last year.
That's crazy.
And then also, I think they were number 1 in defense last year. I think this year they're middle of the pack. So, I mean, defense always sets the tone. So I think it's one of those things. I mean, we talked about as far as winning a championship, they need to bring, someone bigger in. We spoke about that last week. But I think, you can get better from within and then just make some small trades to improve that defense and maybe add a 3-point shooter like a JJ Redick. I think that would kind of elevate them a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. It would be nice for them to have a guy like JJ Redick who can just sit kind of on the perimeter and, just bang threes. So,
yeah, and they definitely want Drew Holiday back.
JPO wants to get DiVincenzo a little bit more involved.
He's got good games. I mean, he's a good rotation.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think you could be relying on him as a starter.
No, we need Nets Lakers in the finals, JPO, not the Nuggets.
But all this said, the 5-game losing streak, they're still first in the division. So, all hope isn't lost. They could definitely turn it around. So it'll be interesting to see how they play, coming up to the All-Star break. And then we had one other game last night on TNT we had the Nets visiting the Lakers, and the Nets, of course, without Kevin Durant, the Lakers without Anthony Davis. And coming into this game, I've talked about this before with the Nets defense. I just figured they would have a tough time with the Lakers. But honestly, I was surprised. The final score ended up being 109-98. The Nets snapped the Lakers' 7-game losing streak and actually hold an opponent under 100 points for the second time in the last 5 games after having a stretch of, I think, 6 or 7 games of allowing 125. So that was impressive. I don't know what your guys' takeaway from last night was.
Yeah, the defense was definitely impressive. I mean, even without Anthony Davis holding the Lakers under 100 is good. It's a lot easier to play defense against the Lakers when everyone can guard LeBron.
Exactly.
It's going to be different when Anthony Davis is back, but it's also going to be different when Kevin Durant's there too.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I thought the Lakers were going to win that game, but Kyrie and Harden played really well. I think combined went 14 for 32 from the field. And then Joe Harris, I like Joe Harris, 6 for 7 from 3. He's a marksman.
Joe Harris is a great role player.
But on the Lakers side, obviously you're missing Anthony Davis. That's a crucial component on both sides of the ball. So I think it would have been a little bit of a different game if Davis had played.
And Schroeder too.
Schroeder missed time too last night. Yeah. So
and that's a lot of offense for
and the Nets obviously have probably the most offensive firepower when those 3 guys are on the floor together, I would say. So
and then also Kyle Kuzma, I've noticed, has actually been playing well.
He stepped it up last night.
I had been down on him after an impressive rookie year. Seems like he hit, a sophomore wall, never kind of recovered.
Yeah.
But he's been more of a team player. Before you thought, he's just offense, he's just spot up shooting, but now he's been grabbing rebounds, playing some pretty good defense. So I think he's going to be important for them down the stretch, kind of as that third guy, unless, they, of course, decide to make a move. Cap's flexibility obviously is a problem. I mean, the only thing I could see them doing is trading. Somehow you'd probably have to attach picks to trade Caldwell Pope or Marc Gasol, who I've been very, unimpressed with both of those guys this year.
Yeah, I mean, Marc Gasol's older, and Caldwell Pope, dude, me and Mikey we always say this, never was really sold on.
Trash. No, he played good in the finals, so he got paid.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So a 4-year deal too, that's insane.
And Kuzma finally stepping up is about time. We thought he was Jason Tatum, right? After his rookie year. Kuzma's been terrible though. He got overpaid.
He had 16 and 10 last night though.
He
looked good. He looked good shooting.
It's been a small stretch. Let's see it over the full season.
I need to see it for 2 seasons from him. First of all.
No, because I've seen him take some terrible shots, honestly. His shot looks broken.
JPO is taking shots at your Lakers.
I know, dude. I know.
Lakers ain't doing it without AD. His injury could be really serious and keep him out for quite a bit.
The only thing about that, JPO,
he's right,
is he could sit out 2 months, but as long as he's back for the playoffs, it doesn't matter. Nobody's beating the Lakers.
Wow, mic drop. Gasol is trash.
Of course he's trash.
But I'll go back to what James Harden said, though. It's going to be hard for any team to beat them 4 times.
Yeah,
I know. And honestly, last night, dude, I kind of saw firsthand.
KD was chilling.
Being a Lakers guy, I mean, I was like, damn, this team is ridiculous.
One thing, I mean, obviously,
Gino, what did you see from last night? Because finals.
Yeah, so obviously I think it still probably is your NBA Finals. I mean, you're missing 2 of the best players on each team, or one of the best players on each team. And I mean, quite possibly, no matter who you ask, probably, I mean, if you put a list together, at least two of the top 5 players in the league probably would be my guess. So, I mean, obviously those are big losses, but for a Nets team that was giving up 140 points to the Cavs, for them to hold the Lakers under 100 is huge. The Nets have also now beaten the top 7 teams in the West. So anybody who's worried about the Nets not having a tough schedule because the East is just an absolute shit show of just bad teams, clearly they're up for the big games. And like you said, Grasso, like what Harden said, like no team in the East is beating this team 4 games in a series. It's just not happening. The Lakers are the only shot I think that have a chance of beating them. And, without KD or without AD, that's going to be a significantly tougher challenge. But, I know. I think the Nets are the favorites right now. I think. I think
they are
the Nets are the favorites.
JPO.
Who's pretend front runners? The Lakers.
Then also talk about the Jazz too. The team,
and we're actually going to preview the Jazz.
Yes, so
Clippers
just hold your horses.
We can send you the rundown if you want to. You can
JPO if you want. You could FaceTime in too. We could get you in this conversation right now and join us with Gino here as well. We could get all of us.
Yeah, guys, for everybody listening out there, please feel free to jump on in and hang out with us with Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, right?
Absolutely.
We could get you on. You got to just DM me.
And one thing I would just like to add with the Nets, I mean, obviously we know they could score 150 points, but I just think around those three guys, there's really not much else. And I think what's going to be crucial is their ability to add one or two more guys. I mean, Andre Drummond has been rumored, to go there because DeAndre Jordan is just not the same center, that he was a couple years ago. Right. So I think that would be a big upgrade. And then I think you need one more perimeter defender. I think that's because the defense has been so bad. Jeff Green's playing 35 minutes.
Well, they brought in Shumpert, but then Shumpert got hurt.
Shumpert, I mean, come on.
His days are behind him. And you mentioned Drummond, a low budget big guy that's out there you might be able to get JaVale McGee. He's in Cleveland right now.
Really good.
They just got Jared Allen.
Yeah. Because Jared
Allen, round pick for him.
Yeah,
I'd do it.
Yeah, Jared Allen. That was a big loss. I mean, no one really talked about that, but he was huge for the Nets.
JPO, text me.
So JaVale McGee can kind of replace that. Maybe you get him for just like a second round pick or 2 picks. It might be worth it. He gives you 20 minutes a night.
Yeah, and just defense.
That's
the important
rebounding.
Thing. So we'll see what happens there. And then one more thing I'd like to add: Taylor Horton-Tucker last night didn't have a great game, but he actually played 28 minutes. They haven't been playing him that much this year, so I think that's something I would like to see more of. We've seen enough of KCP. Let's get Horton-Tucker out there for that amount of minutes, every night. That they have a game. I mean, I would like to see that. I think his development's key for them, and he brings a lot defensively. Mm-hmm. He's a good passer, so that'll be interesting to see. Moving forward with him. And then we have a full slate of games tonight. We're going to focus on 2. The first game tonight is actually the Suns, 17-10 this year, coming off a big winning streak that was snapped actually by the Nets, which I didn't get to talk about that, but them blowing that lead last week was insane. I think they were up 21 points at halftime. I'm watching the game, and I'm just going to go to bed. There's no point in even watching this game. I was shocked that they lost by 4. But, like I said, the Suns have been hot, so I think, they're a strong team. And then they're playing actually at the Pelicans, 12-16. We touched on this last week with the Pelicans. We've been expecting more out of them with all the young talent, and they've actually, had a tough time. I think they've lost 4 out of 5. So I think it'll be big to see, if they can recover tonight. Steven Adams got hurt last game. So actually the former Knick, Willie Hernan Gomez, actually had a big game, 11-17. So it'll be interesting to see if he could step in. What's your guys' thoughts on this matchup? Do you think it's going to be a close game, or, what do you see here?
Well, who knows, with the NBA, close game. Like you think like the team that's supposed to lose will win that night. But in this matchup, I'm looking at the Suns, and I just like how young and talented they are. Obviously, Chris Paul is the wily vet in that whole crew, but 17-10, dude, and I love Devin Booker, obviously Kobe Jr. And the Pelicans, dude, I just think that they're an average team. They got obviously a lot of good young talent. But if they're looking to trade Redick or who was the other name that came up from Lonzo, because Lonzo is going to be unrestricted free agent. Who knows if he's going to go back there, next year. So I'm looking at the Suns in this matchup. I'm definitely going to roll with them to win this game.
What's your thoughts, Grasso?
Well, yeah, I'm big on the Suns. And Barnes, last time we talked about this, and Booker's been playing really well lately, and Chris Paul leading that team. I love the Suns. I think they're going to win tonight. An interesting matchup we've seen how well Zion's been playing and how he's been dominating the paint. And if Steven Adams is out, DeAndre Ayton's going to be in there a lot. Let's see if he can match up with Zion.
Let's see if there's 11-17 out of Hernan Gomez.
Before we continue our Suns talk, because I want to give my chime in, but let's bring in JPO, boys.
What's up, JPO?
Yeah.
What's up, dude?
What up, JPO?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Not much, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
What's on your mind?
Basketball. We're talking basketball.
So we're gonna keep the combo going real quick. You could just chime in a sec, but I think the Suns are still learning to play together. And I'm actually really happy that Zion is dominating the way he is, because it could have gone either way for him. So it's good to see that it's legit with him. But and if you noticed, I think on over 8 attempts per game, his last 7 or 8 games, my boy Lonzo is shooting 46% from 3.
Yeah,
Nice.
Lonzo's been hooping.
Big
He's been hooping
with that 3-point shooting. Didn't
Yeah.
see that coming.
So that's great. What are your thoughts, guys? We'll go with we'll start with JPO and then we'll go with Gino.
About the Suns and the Pelicans. I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I haven't watched much of the Suns this year, so I don't have much to say about them. But the Pelicans, I think Zion is really coming into to form, man. He's looking good out there. With Steven Adams out tonight, is from what I heard you guys talk about. I don't know how well they're going to do against the Suns, man. So that's all I got to say about it.
JPO.
What's that?
Yeah, I think it's a tough matchup. What do you think, Gino?
First off, point guard. So, best player ever. Chris Paul, love him. Favorite player.
Wow. That's your favorite player ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Over favorite player in our lifetime. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got him on my laptop. I got him on the laptop from Houston, but I got him on my laptop. Love him. But the Suns are really good. I watched them. I think I watched them against the Bucks a week or so ago. I think they won that game. I think Giannis it was the game Giannis had the game-winning shot, and then Devin Booker came out afterwards and was like, none of us were worried that he was going to make that shot. But I think the Suns are really good. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup in the paint between Zion and DeAndre Ayton. I think that's going to be something to watch out for. I think the Suns have too much. Lonzo's been good. I like seeing. I know we talked about this a little bit. I like seeing Lonzo do well. I think he gets a lot of kind of slack, but I think he's really improving. Is that Luka?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
we're gonna talk about him.
That actually now Luka might be my favorite player ever, but yeah, about this, just going back on the Pelicans, I just don't think they have enough to win tonight. I think the Suns probably walk away with this one 15 or something like that, 10-15.
And we've been picking, all the games. I mean, and just judging by what everyone's saying, it seems like we're all in agreement that a Suns victory tonight. I don't know if anybody's opposed. Mike, you usually like to go lone wolf. What do you think?
Oh, you guys are going
Suns.
I'm going Pelicans.
Yeah, of course.
If Zion can control the paint and Zion can control the game and do his thing, then it could be a different. It could be a different game
on the head top tonight. Who knows?
What are you guys' thoughts on?
I hope he does.
Sorry, let me switch topics real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
What are you guys thinking about Trae Young and John Morant right now?
Well, yeah. We want to start with Trae.
Grasso will go first on that.
Yeah, Grasso.
Trae Young is trash.
No defense.
Trae Young is trash. John Morant is really good.
Yeah,
he's the truth.
I hate Trae Young.
He had that really low triple-double the last game, right? You saw that 15, 11, and 12, I think.
Who, Trae Young?
No, John Morant.
Trae Young, come on.
I don't think Trae Young is ever going to have a triple-double. Maybe
I don't think Trae's never going to score less than 20 points because he takes 60 shots a game. I mean,
yeah. Well, he doesn't get the rebounds
either.
Yeah,
trash.
Trae Young.
And also, I've been surprised. I thought the Hawks would have a better record by now. I know they've had some injuries, but I mean,
yeah, they got good pieces in the offseason. They improved that team a little bit, but I never think of Atlanta as
give the ball to Herder.
Worry about.
I feel like they're one of those
Herder.
I feel like one of those teams
shooter.
that play well on 2K, but in real life, it's just
they got a bunch of offensive players and
they're trading John Collins. It sounds like, right?
Yeah.
We
talked about that the other day.
Talking about that.
You know what?
Tell me what you think about that.
You know what came out? And just, do you think, I want to know your opinion too, JPO. Apparently, they're looking for a first rounder. Do you think he's worth the first rounder? Would you?
I think to the right team he is. Yeah.
Interesting. There you go.
I think he's
I was just wondering.
But yeah, I think he's. If Detroit's giving up a first rounder, I don't know. I don't think that's worth it, especially because their picks probably going to be high for a couple years. So I can see they're picking him up though.
But let's talk about John Morant for a second, going back to that, because you guys know that I'm a John Morant fan and a Grizzlies fan. I don't know though, man. He should be putting up bigger numbers. And ever since his injury, I feel like he's being really kind of. I don't know. He's playing well, but he's not playing where I thought he would be this year already.
He's not being as aggressive, maybe, and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's holding back a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't think you have anything to worry about with him long term. I mean, obviously, the injury could play into it. We've seen guys struggle in their second year, but I think he's a future star, and this is obviously down the road, but I could see him winning an MVP one day. I mean, he's that talented.
Yeah, I can see that. He needs to just keep putting more weight on.
Yeah. So
same with Kyrie. Jesus, did you see him last night?
He looks like he's sick, dude. He looks like he's like a skeleton.
You guys really think he should be a starter in the East, though?
I don't think he plays.
Who, Kyrie?
In the All-Stars?
Yeah.
Who else?
Who else?
Like, I don't know who else you'd put there.
There's no one else.
You don't put Trae Young there?
Yeah.
Lowry.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's Kyrie.
Kyrie's got it. When he hoops, he hoops. He's just a weirdo.
But how many games has he played this year? 12?
Yeah, he's
5 games, maybe.
What, that Kyrie has missed?
No, I'm saying he's missed. I think he sat out 5.
Yeah.
I think he hasn't missed too many more.
Probably 7 games or so. But in the games he's played, though, he's had some big games.
I mean, he's an S. He's one of the best players.
He's playing really good.
Yeah. I think it's that no one has a problem with his ability. It's just his attitude.
He's just a weirdo.
Yeah, that's just a little tough to take. But we have one other game we're going to preview tonight. We have the Jazz and Clippers. And JPO, you were talking about the Jazz before, so I'll actually lead with you. What's your thoughts on this matchup? And we're going to assume that at least Kawhi plays and maybe Paul George. I think they're both questionable.
Okay, so I think if the Jazz win tonight, then, I mean, everybody should be talking about them way more than they should be talking about the Lakers this year, especially if AD stays hurt right now or them watching him very closely because, I mean, he could come back at any time and then go right back out with this type of injury he has from what I've heard about it. So I think that's a really big deal tonight because the Clippers have silently been doing really well this season. Again, I don't hear too much talk about them. They're just kind of silently being in the top bracket in the West. But I think that, if the Jazz win tonight, man, they're fucking solid, dude.
Yeah, I think now it's 20 out of 21.
Yeah, they're such a fucking team.
Yeah, they're a good team, but
are they a great team?
When it comes to a playoff game, if Donovan Mitchell 22, the Jazz are losing.
Yes.
Because who else on that team can get their own offense? Like Royce O'Neal is not taking over a game.
Joe Ingles,
Mr. 205 million, Rudy Gobert can't score.
Averaging 12, 13 points a game.
Yeah, I mean, like these guys move the ball great. Coach Quinn Snyder is a great coach. Probably going to win Coach of the Year if Jazz keep this up. Yeah. And he's been in the contentions for that for a while now, for years. But if Donovan Mitchell doesn't have a big offensive game, they're not winning playoff games. So,
but what about their defense?
Their defense is good, but
it's tough.
Are they going to stop LeBron and AD? Are they going to stop Kawhi and Paul George in the same team?
Dame Dollar and CJ and my boy Melo.
Booker and Paul. And these guys are too good offensively sometimes to really rely on
tonight. Are we going to find out?
I hope
we will find out.
I hope both guys play. And I honestly, as impressive as the Jazz have been, I think they are kind of due to lose. And if George and Kawhi play, I kind of see the Clippers winning just because also both of them didn't play on Wednesday when they played them, and they were up 5 at halftime. So if they had those guys, I mean, I just think, that offense might be tough for the Jazz to keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, the just speak on the Jazz real quick. I mean, it's like ridiculous what they're doing, and I love Jordan Clarkson, obviously former Lakers.
I mean, he's got to win Sixth Man of the Year. I mean,
I have some ties to Clarkson. Always was a fan of him. He was great as a rookie, and then I think he's just continued to evolve. And obviously, this year is like his breakout year. So good for them. Good for him. But yeah, man, obviously the Clippers. The JPL, I agree. Like nobody's really been high on them, even though they're playing well. A lot of the talk's been like Utah because they're winning all these games, and the Lakers obviously with their two guys, and Nuggets too. Yeah. So, I mean, tonight. I'm still, we don't know about Paul George or Kawhi yet,
right?
Yeah,
last time I checked, they said questionable.
They're still questionable.
It seemed like they were leaning towards playing, which would obviously make this a great game.
I mean, it would be a great game if both those guys play, because then we'd really see, like...
It's a true test.
It's a true test, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna. It's tough, man, but I'm going with Utah.
What Kawhi sprained his hand carrying water bottles or something?
Huh?
Nothing.
You said you talking a bunch of shit over there, or what?
I said, what did Kawhi sprain his hand from carrying water bottles or something?
Oh yeah, dude.
Kawhi. But so I have the Clippers. You got the Jazz.
Yeah.
What's your pick, Grasso?
I think the Jazz will probably win tonight.
Okay, so we got Jazz. Mike?
I'm going Clips.
Clips. And then
Tony Montaigne.
Tony.
Come on, dude.
What do you know basketball?
Sitting on the sidelines right now.
Gino, what's your pick and thoughts on the game?
I'm going Jazz. I think they're playing really well as a team. I think that's that's what they're gonna get. I think they're gonna win tonight.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully both of those guys play. We'll see what happens. And then one more thing on the NBA, they were talking about this on Inside the NBA last night, that they've decided, to have the All-Star game in Atlanta. I guess there was, they had the commissioner on. He's saying convenient with the studios there. Kind of weird with the format. Before the game, they're doing the skills and the 3-point contest and the dunk contest at halftime. I hate that. And I just think, it's obviously a money grab. And the All-Star game's not the same without a packed house. I think it's a force. And you could kind of tell the guys on TNT were feeling the same way.
I don't know. None of the players are really feeling it. I'm sure some of them are, like guys like Mikey's boy, Julius Randle.
Randle
definitely trying to go for the first
honor.
Bradley Beal.
Sure. But dude, no, the way they're doing it, like that bubble-like environment, everything's packed in the one night. All three events that usually span a whole weekend is all of a sudden taking place in a couple of hours. It's like
the NBA hurting that much.
Well, do you blame the NBA? They are hurting.
Yeah, but
I kind of think this is going to be
good. Hurt for a year.
You think it's gonna be solid?
You're going to put a bunch of the best players in the NBA, just throw them in a gym alone, and tell them to have throw down dunks and shoot threes and do skill stuff. They're probably going to put on a show.
Summer League.
I mean,
I hope so.
My one problem is how are we going to know who the rising stars are in the NBA without the NBA Rising Stars Challenge?
Yeah, I always like that. And they always talk about no defense. I feel like they usually score like 400 points in those games. See the guys all the threes, all the dunks. What do you think, JPO, about this?
About the All-Star game?
Yeah.
In general, again, I have to say that I agree with the NBA from the NBA's perspective. I think it has to happen, but as a player, if I was a player, it would suck. Again, you're going into a bubble type condition, and it kind of sucks. It's like these guys are playing, crazy amounts of games, especially the teams that are missing games due to COVID and stuff. They need to they need to play their makeup games, and they're playing every night sometimes. And it does suck for them. But it's only sucking for, I guess, 24 players, right? In the NBA, or I guess that are playing the game, right?
No, they probably do
24 total.
Think about the whole event. It's probably like 50 total, maybe 70.
So 50 out of hundreds of players in the NBA,
I just thought it was funny when they had Adam Silver on. They asked him about, what about the risk of guys getting COVID somehow? And to answer the question, completely didn't answer the question. It kind of did one of those, you know what I mean? They didn't know what to say. So I thought that was funny. But we all know
we need money.
Yeah, exactly.
How will they get COVID? If they're not getting COVID from the regular games, how are they going to get COVID from?
Well, a lot of guys have missed. I guess not from actually playing the game, but I don't know. You know what I mean? A lot of guys have missed just in general. But
going to strip clubs?
We'll watch it.
I think the one COVID thing would be that you're getting a bunch of players from different teams mixing on the same team and being in contact for, I guess, a period of time. I don't know. I guess just like you figure you're getting, say, get 24 All-Stars or whatever. Playing in the All-Star game, then you're not just worrying about 2 teams getting COVID. You're worrying about possibly 10 teams getting COVID or whatever, depending on how many players are getting All-Stars. So I guess it's not. I guess that maybe that'll be their biggest issue.
All you gotta do is get the lemon pepper wings delivered. Don't get to the bar.
Exactly.
Oh man. We'll see what happens in the NBA tonight, and till the All-Star break. Mike, what do you have to add as far as the world of boxing? I know last time we talked about the Aaron Carter fight.
Yeah, I want to. I just want to keep talking about it because I'm trying to. Listen,
We want Aaron Carter to come here.
Yes, my goal with this.
DTVHQ.
Yes, Aaron Carter. If this ever gets to you, bud, we're fans here. All right, we want to know what's going on. Why'd you choose Lamar? Why did Lamar choose you? How did this come to be? It's all interesting to me. I haven't heard from Aaron Carter or anything of Aaron Carter, obviously, naturally so, until now. But I just think it's hilarious. Like Lamar Odom versus Aaron Carter.
So random.
Wait, in a fight?
Yeah, they're boxing.
They're boxing.
Like $3 million a round, or $1 million a round.
Odom's got a little bit of a reach.
That's
I
what
know.
I'm saying, dude.
But, I mean,
He's
apparently-
fucking 6'10".
Is this a real topic?
Apparently, Aaron is training with a UFC fight. I don't know, man. I follow him. I don't see much training. He's in Sweden right now.
Maybe he should fight the YouTubers.
He's gonna get fucking clapped.
He's gonna look like Nate Robinson.
Yeah, he's gonna get rocked.
Oh God, I feel bad, but yeah, I'm just trying to get him on the show. So you know what I mean? Like I just want him on here so you could talk about it.
We got any other big boxing matches coming up other
It's
than
gonna be a $3 million nap.
Nothing really.
Yeah, literally.
They're you know what? Actually, though, they are close to finalizing the Tyson Fury Anthony Joshua
Nice, dude.
fight.
That'll
It's going
be
to
a
be
big
2
one.
fights.
That's
That'll be
big
dope.
news.
Yeah, they're almost
Yeah.
close. So that's going to be announced soon. I'm super excited for that. But I know he had the thing that I'm a conspiracy theorist, I guess you could say. The reason why I think this is a little bit sketchy is because he still has to fight Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. It's a part of the contract.
Yeah.
Because Wilder
Third time.
rematch. Right?
Yes, yeah. So
All right, well, whatever. He'll do that one and then he'll fight.
So we got
Joshua.
some fights coming.
yeah. I mean, Tyson, regardless,
It's going to be pretty busy the next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty
There's gonna be a lot of good fights. There's gonna be a lot of good fights.
And I like the direction that boxing is going. They've been putting more, fights on regular cable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that want to
Yeah.
pay for pay-per-view, but if you're going to put it on ESPN, we'll
Yeah,
tune
we'll
in.
watch it.
Yeah.
And
dude,
I
would
think
watch
one
it.
thing too and of course it's all money and some things you can't help, but I just think they need to do a better job of getting the best fighters to fight each other. It's always such a long, drawn-out process,
Yep.
and I think that deters some people from getting into boxing.
Yeah, no, totally. It's like I'm not gonna pay for some dude I don't even know who he is.
He
You know
fights
what I mean?
Once every 3 years.
Right, exactly. What's the whole point of that? There's no point. But now it's like, yeah, let's do the not as big guys for free, and then have people pay $80 for the main fights, the main course. It's not, that's fine with me.
But and then one other thing I wanted to add, my weekly golf spot, just quickly. Jordan Spieth, once again, so close. This time he's under par in the final round. Ended up, finishing in the top 5. Couldn't quite get it done. Once again this week, they're playing at Riviera. He's tied for 4th right now, but unfortunately 6 strokes back because Sam Burns, who actually I'm not really too familiar with, 12 under par, which is impressive. Well ahead of the field at a tough course at Riviera. So be interesting to see, can Spieth finally get it done? He's going to need to have a big weekend. And honestly, I think if he doesn't get it done this weekend, I could see him, in a big spotlight. We have the Players' Championship coming up. We got the Masters again in April coming up quick. So
Gonna
I
have
think,
Goose for that.
I was going to say, I got to be on there with Goose.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to talk
Yeah,
some
we'll
Masters.
bang that one.
Yeah.
But I think one of those 2 events, he'll finally get it done. The confidence is back, and it's great to see. You love seeing, comeback stories for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything else anybody has to add on, the world of sports?
Before we wrap it
I
up.
think that'll do.
That'll do.
That'll do it. We
You
got
guys
to
need to read this book if you haven't.
We got some basketball.
Oh,
Hold on.
JPL, what do you got?
Read
JPL.
this book if you haven't yet. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey.
Mm.
Come on, I just got it. This is the cover because the book's in my bedroom. I'm reading it.
Oh.
But
That's fire.
this is the
Good
cover.
recommendation.
Oh,
So yeah,
Green
guys,
lights,
go
I'm
pick up
telling
that
you.
book. Yo, JPO, thanks for coming in, bro.
JPL, good to see you,
And
bro.
then
I
Gino,
missed you guys.
thank
Gino.
you.
Gino,
Great
love
job,
you, man.
everyone.
Everybody out
Love you,
there, we
boys.
love you.
Great
See you
weekend,
guys.
Have a great
Yes.
weekend. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
Later.